G'day, welcome to Pinky's Travel Adventures. I've got a few mods that I want to do to the van. Wrapped it up very well, lots of bubble wrap. There we go. Danger. Open carefully. Lifter spring is loaded. That's why these straps are on it, and these are squashed in there. So that's it. So that's the lifter that every other caravan other than Jayco all-terrains issued in 2021 and 2022 didn't have them, but they have got them on now. The 2023 models have these lifters on them. So I'm going to put this one on the back, which is where I lift first, and because I lift at the back, then at the front, and then I'll do the reverse to shut down and shut at the front and drop at the back. So I'm going to see how this helps me lift it up, and I'll do a video of the install. Pop top caravans. Make sure you open a window or two and the door to let the air in when you lift her up. So here we go. Okay, this is the first time I've lifted this top with the extra solar panel on, and then I'm going to put another solar panel on the other side. So this is going to get pretty hard. It's already getting hard. Muscles are getting weaker as I get older. So yep. That's a standard all-terrain, probably the same as a the Journey, without the cross here that they're now putting on. So I'm going to try to use these captive sliders that came with the Rhino rack. Well, you can buy them from any of the automotive stores. It's got a flat plate and they're stainless steel. The bolt is a bit bigger than the cross beams bolt holes, and I might have to probably have to grind them down thinner, but I'll find out more when I've accessed the track. So this is the track that we want to get into. So I need to cut a groove to remove some of this lip so I can get my pieces in. I don't think it'll interfere with the structural integrity too much. Yes! Yes, they're in. For some reason, Jayco have this aluminium strip between the X-brace and the roof. It may be to stop the brace top here from going inside the groove or moving or coming loose or something. So I'm putting one on as well. So I hope it does some purpose. So just pop some holes in there and set it on top. So there we go, all finished. I've put a nut on there and had to do it up very, very slowly. Sort of like a eighth of a turn at a time, and then I put a lock nut on to make sure it doesn't come undone on both ends, and tighten that up a quarter of a turn as well. There was not enough room in there to fit a socket. And we've tightened these up inside, so she's now all snug, all good. So this is what she looks like when it's popped up. We're going to drop the roof down now. front first, and now we drop the back. And now we drop the back. Bang! You can't just put one on. Initially I just put the one on the back and it became a problem. It needs one on either end to help center the lid as you pull it up and down. With one on the back, it's when you drop the front of the lid, it seemed to move forward and strain the back one. Well, here we have the two different types of canopy lift mechanism. Pop top canopy scissor lift, Jayco call it, and RV Parts Express call it a canopy lift mechanism. So this one was $123, $135 delivered, and this one is $190 from Jayco and from RV Parts Express. They look exactly the same. Yep, same length from lift to lift. I think they're the same. Yep, that's the same width. This one is loosely galvanized. It's very, you know, the pressed metal is galvanized, but I'm not sure that this is. And this looks like the Jayco one looks like it's powder coated. Here's another interesting difference between the two lifters. Well, sitting on the floor, the Jayco one is shorter and its spring is loose and the coils are actually larger and the spring is longer. I think that might be the issue. The spring is too long. It doesn't start till way in there, whereas this one is a lot shorter spring. No, it's not stretched. No, there's no gaps there. It's just a shiny spring, whereas that's a dull spring. Dull gal. So I might put this one back onto the back and put one of these on the front to help lift. I'm going to have to pack it so that this sits down a bit further. I'll show you what's sitting on the van. It doesn't, in its native state like this, it doesn't fill the gap in between the roof and the bottom. So that must be why Jayco put that aluminium in there, thick piece of aluminium, to sort of pack it down a bit. So the RV Parts Express lifter was on the caravan and it seemed to work okay. It certainly assisted lifting the pop top up, but when I actually closed the van up, it was impossible for me to lift it, to start it going up. I had to lift the front of the van first before I could lift this back one. Now I suspect the reason for that is that I only had one of these devices on. I didn't have one on the front. And I think somehow when it pulls down, it was binding together. And just by lifting the front, the back came up. So I ordered the Jayco ones. I've already found that the Jayco ones is a little bit shorter when it's fully expanded, and I'm going to put one on the front and the back to hopefully get it to work properly. To make it easier to work on the bolts up here, we pull the fly screen off. At least we can get on the bed and kneel out and tighten up some bolts. I'm going to use these hex head screws, 12 gauge, ooh, 2 labels, to hold the bottom of the spring in. Now, because that piece of aluminium is actually three layers, I'm going to drill through the first 2 layers. That's about the size of the pilot hole for this, so I don't want this to start cutting a thread at the same time needing to cut through the second layer. It'll just strip the thread out, which will be no good at all. Cool, locked in. Well, as I believe the springs we get from Jayco are not as strong as this one I previously got, so I'm going to put this one on the rear where most of the weight is, and I've given it a coat of black paint so it won't go so rusty so quick, because that coating of galvanizing was a bit thin. So I'll put this one up and give her a test. So I've got a spacer washer, which is a drilled out nut, so that I can get to the nut with the socket. Okay, now the question is, should this be in the center of the here, or slightly off to one side so the major weight of pushing is on the hinge, or is the major weight pushing on the wheel? I don't know, so I'm going to put it in the middle. Okay, I've got it where I think it's in the middle. Now I'm going to put a piece of aluminium bar underneath this bottom piece to lift it off, so that it's not sitting on this piece, it's got to be bolted to this piece. Easiest way is to lift it and then put it on it. That's it. And slide it across. So this lifts it up from the curl. That's it. Across there, ready to bolt. Ready to bolt in there. We'll do the same thing. We'll do a pilot hole. I'm going to clean it up, and then I'm going to put the Sikaflex behind it so that it seals that hole. Alright, I've Sikaflexed underneath the bottom bracket and screwed it back up, and now I've just got to tighten up these bolts up here so he doesn't rattle anymore. There we go, the lifter is on the back and the lifter is on the front. Well, the recommendation is that you pull the front down first and then the back down. Lift the back first and then the front second. So we'll just try pulling it down, and it's a little bit harder to pull down. And now we'll drop the back. still got to take the weight as it comes to the bottom, otherwise it'll slam shut. Now we'll try lifting it up and see how that goes. Something catches, I have to investigate that. But it certainly is a lot easier to lift. The spring takes all the weight, but when it's closing, it's grabbing on something. Now popping the top with the front, it's quite easy. The spring wants to take it, let's make it slow. Cool, that is so good. That is heaps better than it was before. So what have I learned? Well, it's an interesting exercise, putting those lifters on, getting the cutting into the track up top. I cut a bit of a nick in one side and then a slice off the other side so that the captured bolts could to fit in. That was the hardest part. The Jayco lifters seem to be weaker in the spring, and the other one, the aftermarket one I bought, appeared to be a better quality. However, it was a very light galvanizing, so I primed that and painted it, so it should not get so much rusty anymore. I have seen a number of them that are rusty, and you can't just put one on. Initially I just put the one on the back and it became a problem. So anyway, I hope you think about doing it to your van or not. Maybe get Jayco to do it for you, so the problems are theirs. Alright, bye bye, thanks for watching.